What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to LTH. My name is Abe and I am going to show you Cockpit in this video, which is a GUI browser based to manage your Linux servers, right? And so this could be seen as something similar to like Portainer or Docker's GUIs that they have, but low overhead, built in with the kernel pretty much, and just a good overview. So, you can manage like your virtual machines in here. You can see I have one running. You can manage your storage, create and manage storage devices, create partitions, unmount, remount, manage user counts, the groups at which users are in and their permissions, as well as see things like the services that are running and access your terminal between your machines, and then add other hosts and switch between hosts all from one browser-based GUI. So let's get on with the video on how to install and set this. Two ways. I'm just going to show you how to install Cockpit on top of Ubuntu Linux via a virtual machine in Proxmox, which you can do as well if you'd like to mess or learn with it. But what it's really designed for is to have a low-powered machine or a high-powered machine where you install Cockpit on top of a Ubuntu server directly, or any Linux server distribution directly, and that will reduce your overhead of like the utilization that Proxmox uses or whatever, right? Maybe you have an N100 machine with only 16 gigs of RAM and you don't want Proxmox to eat away at 2 gigs of that. Cockpit will allow you to create virtual machines and manage that server and services with less overhead, okay? So if you are going to create this in Proxmox to mess with, make sure you have a lot of gigabytes of RAM and storage, because all the virtual machines you create within Cockpit will be shared via these settings. Or if it's a physical server with Ubuntu server or another server distribution on it, you will have all that RAM and all that storage at your disposal. So go ahead and install it, and then we can see it's already at the login screen. So I'm going to do CMD, make this a big screen, control 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, make this nice and big for you. Do SSH at the username, at the IP address of the server that we're going to be logging into. Yes to fingerprint. Type the password in and wait, and now we're in. And so in here, the first thing you should do with any Linux server distribution, I should also mention we are using 24.04 LTS, the latest version. We're going to grab all the updates and upgrade all those services right off the bat, just to make sure before we install Cockpit, we have the latest of everything, and every dependency that Cockpit or any of the other services we're going to use will depend on. So pause this video and come back once this is done installing. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just install Cockpit with this command. Once again, all of the commands will be linked down below with a step-by-step instructions found on our website. And we're just going to let this install, and it's usually pretty quick. And then once this has been installed, we're going to go to our browser at the IP address of our machine, and then the port number 9090. So go ahead and pause this video and come back when you're ready to go. Okay, so now that it's been installed, we can go to our browser once again at the IP address, click enter, go to proceed, and then log in with the credentials that you created for the user when you were setting up your server, or when you were setting up your virtual machine if you're testing this out like in Proxmox, okay? And so there is one thing specifically that Cockpit has an error with Ubuntu and just how they run their packages in the background. If you use like Fedora server or maybe Red Hat, you may not run into this issue. You may as well. So the first thing we want to do is fix the cache while offline error. So if we go to applications and we click reload, sometimes you will get an error, or once you mess with it, you will get an error that shows that it is offline when you do actually have internet connection. So sometimes when you mess with stuff, it will or will not do this. But what we want to do is just go back over to our command line, and we're going to copy some commands in here. So we're creating a fake mounted device, or Ethernet device. So you're going to type this in here, click X, the letter Y to save, and enter. And then we are going to add that fake network interface like so. And then we need to reboot our system. And so our system will reboot. And if this is a Linux server, you can just try in a couple seconds. Or if you're in Proxmox, you can always come back over here and see when your machine is back up to attempt to connect to it again. And it's up. So if I go over here and we can just click reconnect, type in our username and password again, and log in, we're just going to go down the list. So overview is the first tab and allows you to see the overall health of your system, hardware details, bugs, configuration settings. You can also reboot and shut down your system from here. As you create logs, we can already see there's a couple in here. And you can read any of your logs from your system, the last 24 hours, errors, warnings, notices, identifiers. Even you can use search filters, which is awesome. Storage is awesome, especially as you add more devices. You can, create RAIDs in here, new NFS mounts. You can even, create partition tables, unmount, format, create partition tables. It's really awesome in here, right? All your network devices you can see in here. You can see the one we just created so we don't get any errors. You can add VPNs, bond, create teams, add bridges, and even add VLANs all from in here, which is really cool. And then again, accounts is where you can create a new account, assign groups, permissions to users, whatever, right? Services, targets, sockets, timers, and paths, like these are all kind of related, but these are systems and things that are running on your system. So you can even search for a specific thing to see if it's running or it's not running, right? And then applications are really cool, and these will come from Cockpit's website, or you can find them on the community. So if I can open this up for you, let me pull this over. So in here, we can install applications to give ourselves more features in our Linux server, right? And so we're going to show you how to do virtual machines in here in a little bit. So the next thing we want to do, I'm going to go down here to software updates. Also, if you have any updates, you can do that in here and reload, which we've covered. And then the last tab is the terminal, right? And so now you no longer need to use your CMD or create lots of different SSH sessions with new tabs, right? You would just go up here to the top left, drop down, add a host, and all your sessions would be done that way, which is really cool. So we're gonna go ahead and install the virtual machine feature. And if you actually read up here at the top, it says the command line installation is also possible using the package name. So if we go down here, I probably just passed it. This is the package name, Cockpit-machines, right? And so when I type out this command, and of course, there we go. So we're gonna do sudo apt install, which is normal for a lot of Linux or Debian-based distributions. We're talking to the Cockpit repository, and then I want you to download the package name Cockpit-machines. So if you want to do this with the same command, the only thing you have to do is change the last part to the package that you're looking to install, okay? And then you're going to type this out, click yes for install, and allow this virtual machine package to install. Okay, so now that that's been installed, we can actually look over here and we don't see a virtual machines and systems. If we reload our web page, we can see virtual machines pops up. And if this doesn't pop up in the terminal, you can do like a sudo system start cockpit, sudo system enable cockpit, maybe. You shouldn't need to do that, but those commands will be on our website if you need to do that. And then we can click import a VM or create a VM. You can give your VM a name, test, download an OS, grab a cloud base. Maybe you have local ones already mounted, but more than likely you're going to do download an OS, find the OS at which you want, and then create a new raw volume or add to a new volume, set the amount. We can see how much is available on the host. So we can just lower that, enable this to bigger or less, and click create and run. And then this is going to be creating the virtual machine until the status of this state changes, which it just did, to running. Then we can click on it, and just like in Proxmox, you can essentially see it's setting it up. So this is what I'm saying is you could install this on a bare bones machine running any type of like server, right? Ubuntu server, Fedora server, Red Hat server, whatever, and avoid Proxmox because this has way lower overhead than Proxmox does. Obviously, Proxmox has its own features, but if you're running like single board computers or things where you have less resources or less CPU at your disposal, this is a great option for you. And if you're not super savvy with Linux, this also allows you to do a lot of things that you would probably find overwhelming. So I hope that helps. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you think Cockpit is as cool as I do. Please subscribe, stay tuned, click the link down below, follow us on Discord, and stay tuned for another video. My name is Abe, signing off.